So in this video, we're going to see the former Prime Minister of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull, literally just break down. He roasts Donald Trump a little bit in this. You hear the crowd chuckle a little bit, but he really breaks down how to deal with Donald Trump and how it is that he done it successfully versus the majority of other leaders around the world that failed to do so. Let's watch it together. I'll give you my thoughts throughout, but then we'll break it down in full towards the end.
People forget, Australians forget, that in the imperial capital they regard deference as their due. So if you go to Washington, or indeed to Beijing, or in the old days to London, and you grovel and carry on and suck up, they just say, oh, that's great. Is it time for the next sycophant? Surely he's had his 10 minutes of sucking up. It is crazy. You win no respect at all. And, of course, with Trump, who is like the ultimate narcissistic, blustering bully, it is the worst possible thing to do. Now, I was very lucky with Trump in this sense that my first engagement with him, or enragement with him, to use a fabulous Joe Stiglitz word that he often uses about Fox News, was over this, everyone here knows about it, was, over a deal I'd done with Obama that Trump wanted to renege on. Anyway, and we had a huge, blazing row where I basically said, you've got to stick to your word, and Trump said, come on, Malcolm, you're a businessman, you must have reneged on deals. I said, no. No, he did. That's exactly what he said. Said, no. I said, ask your friends. We've got friends in common. My reputation is being a man of my word. I've got lots of other bad things people say about me, but people generally haven't said that I'm untrustworthy in that regard. So I made this point to Trump anyway, and so the conversation began, no way, Jose, and ended up, yes, I hate you. Yes, but I hate you, basically. So he did. He said the call was worse than the one he had with Putin. Although, as I later learnt when I saw them together, he really loves Putin. So it's a bit complex. But the point is, by standing up to Trump and not, doing what they were, American side were back channeling us to not raise the issue, I won his respect and I was able to get some very good outcomes for Australia. And so, you read all this stuff, particularly in the Murdoch press, about how you've got to have an ambassador that sucks up to Trump and you've got to flatter him. That is all bullshit, believe me. I mean, I promise you, there are a lot of leaders at the time Trump came in who did exactly that and they got nothing. The only way to deal with bullies is to stand up to them. And the thing that an Australian Prime Minister knows when they go into a room with an American president is that they're the one person in the White House the president can't fire. So all his staff, they've got to be careful because the boss can go, oh, I'm sick of you telling me what I don't want to hear, you're out. Okay, and that's what Trump does. But if you're the Prime Minister of Australia, the only people that can sack you are your colleagues back home, which, of course, I'm very familiar with the process. But so it's really important. It's really important for Australia to engage, from a position of strength. I mean, there is a complexity there. I'll just conclude on this point that Albanese has to recognise, and I had to too, that the sort of right-wing media ecosystem here, mostly News Corp, but not entirely, is basically Trump is now the central sort of avatar of that universe, and so if disagreement between an Australian Prime Minister and Donald Trump, they will side with Trump.
Yeah.
So, but that is no reason to do anything other than be absolutely strong, play a straight bat, and of course, needless to say, the last thing. Trump got really bad press when he had this tantrum with me. It really did not help him, and I think he was very conscious of that. As far as our ambassador, the Australian government appoints the Australian ambassador to Washington, and just like the American government appoints the American ambassador to Canberra, and the idea that you'd be taking direction from the White House as to who our ambassador should be. I mean, declaring an ambassador persona non grata is a big deal. That's the kind of thing you do to the Russians when they're spying on you or something. So that isn't going to happen. So, Albo, whatever people think of Kevin, and, I've had an up and down relationship with him. We're currently in love again, but it's been patchy, I'd have to say. But the Albanese should stick with Rudd, and he'll and just be very strong and play a straight bat. That's what he's got to do.
Love this. So I honestly feel like there's a lot of leaders around the world that actually need to take a look at this video and understand how it is, because what it is that I feel like we're seeing with a lot, not all leaders of different countries, but a lot of them, we're just seeing them kind of sucking up to Donald Trump and actually bending the knee to Donald Trump and to his demands and what it is that he wants. I feel like we're seeing that a lot, but it was really good to see Malcolm Turnbull break down exactly how it is that he dealt with Trump. It's always good on this channel to see somebody giving Donald Trump a little bit of a roast as well. But you can tell in what it is that Malcolm Turnbull was saying, there was a bit of strategy behind what he was doing as well, in the sense of what it is that he done put Donald Trump in a position where he was getting really, really bad press based off of what it is that Trump was trying to do in trying to back out on the deal that it is that Malcolm Turnbull and Obama had struck together. Now, I've done a little bit of research just to give you guys a bit of context. The deal that it is was a deal that Obama and Malcolm Turnbull put together, and it was all based around the resettling of asylum seekers and refugees. And Donald Trump, he basically went on social media and or something, and he called it the worst deal ever, and accused Turnbull of trying to export the next Boston bombers. That's exactly what it is that he said. And as a result of that, he got a lot of criticism for it. He got a lot of criticism from the media and from people alike, basically tearing down the idea and the fact that it is that he's trying to call, refugees illegal immigrants. So it's well played by Malcolm Turnbull, but I feel like some leaders that are around the world, they need to kind of take a look at exactly how it is that Malcolm Turnbull explains how he dealt with Donald Trump, how it is that he put Trump in a position where he kind of had to go through with the deal because of the fact he would get very bad press about it as well. But honestly, really, really good video by Malcolm Turnbull. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below this video. I'd really love if more former leaders of countries were to come out and explain how it is that they dealt with Donald Trump, because we're seeing a man right now that is, I feel like this isn't even someone that can be dealt with, to be quite honest with you. But, we're seeing right now that this guy is moving extremely crazy, but we're not seeing enough leaders from around the world actually stand up to him. We've seen a couple in terms of the new Prime Minister of Canada. Obviously, the former Prime Minister of Canada stood up to him as well. We're seeing the leader of Greenland, speaking out, saying them as much as it is that he can. But, who knows what's going to happen with that situation in regards to Greenland. They don't have as much power and strength as opposed to other countries that are around the world. But more leaders need to follow in Malcolm Turnbull in the path that it is that he's set. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below this video. Appreciate you guys, and if you want to continue to support the channel further, consider becoming a member of the channel, and you can get a few perks as well. I'd appreciate that from my standpoint. But if not, it's completely fine. Subscribe to the channel, put on the bell notification so you get notified every time I upload a brand new video, and also while you're down there, hit the thumbs up button as well, purely for the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.